Hey you guys, it's Sariyah here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually going to be doing a story time telling you guys about the haunted experience that I recently had in a condo, how I knew there was an entity in there, what happened, and how I got the entity out. Okay? Get your popcorn because it's about to get real, all right? The sun. Get your popcorn because it's about to get real enlightening around here. Okay, we're going to be talking about the wards I did, the cleansing I did, all of that. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So I checked into this condo and I knew I was supposed to be there because my spirit guides gave me visions about me being there. Okay, so one of the signs, or a few of the signs that I was supposed to be there. Before I got there, I saw a vision of like the windows, like the church looking windows. Can't remember what they're called. Cathedral windows. And they had cathedral windows. I had a dream about an arcade, and they had an arcade in that building. What else did I have a dream about? It was something else. And also when I was booking it, it was like an angel number when I was booking it. So I was like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be here. So I get there, I open the door, woof. Immediately, I felt an energy shift as soon as I opened the door. And that would happen every time I went in the door later on too. But let's keep starting from the beginning, right? So as soon as I came in, I felt the energy and I was like, it wasn't that the room was absolutely terrible. It's just that the energy of it wasn't good. What I feel like what it was that there must have not been anyone in there for a while. You know what I'm trying to say? And so when that happens, when there's like an abandoned place or a place that's been vacant for a while, entities can start to like be in there and claim that space. That's how it works. Okay. And so, yeah, that's why I was like, I told myself, I was like, I don't think I would ever do Airbnb ever again unless it was like a villa or like a luxe listing, right? Because this was crazy. So, right? I go in there, I feel that, and then I start crying. And it took me a second to realize, oh, this is not my energy, right? So once I realized that, I put my Reiki videos on. I watch Alchemy Healing. I always talk about her. And basically, I put it on both TVs. So there was a bedroom and a living room. I put it on both TVs, right? And I turned it up. So sound frequencies get rid of like entities and stuff like that. And what else did I do? I immediately started cleaning, right? So the funny thing is, that same night, so I did this the next morning. That same night when I got there, I had called the cleaning lady that like works there. I had called her to come back so I could like talk to her about a few things, because certain things, like I'm like a clean fanatic basically. I don't go too crazy, but like I like a clean space, like you know. So I had her come back to look at certain things, and she was like, I knew you was gonna call me back because there's, they need to deep clean this space and da 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 da. They're kind of neglectful. So I was like, okay. And so she was talking about that. She basically like confirmed everything that I meant, or that I thought. And so she had left, and she had told me before, she was like, don't clean this space because then it wouldn't be holding them accountable. Baby, I don't care. I was like, if I'm going to be here, this place is going to get clean. So I deep cleaned the space with like lemon scented stuff. I boiled some fragrances so that it would get into the air and stuff like that. And yeah. So I was good. After I did that, I felt the energy shift. I felt the energy become my energy. Okay. I know my energy. My energy is very distinct. It's calm, it's peaceful, and yeah. So so I went to sleep, and then over time I started feeling like the energy come back. And so I'm like, so what is going on, right? And so mind you, I was like in a transitional period, right? So I'm not thinking, because when I'm like somewhere where I'm like, this is my home, because this was like an Airbnb. If I'm in my home, I have my home wards and I have wards over myself, right? Since I have been traveling, I didn't have that. That was mistake number one. Mistake number one. So what I learned basically was, even if you're traveling, you still need to do a ward. You need to do a ward while you're traveling. Oh, a ward over the space, and you need to do a ward over yourself. Okay? Because your home ward is for your home, wherever your home is at. You know? And that's why I said, I was like, Airbnb. Because it's like, dang, if you got to keep warding every space you're in, that's craziness. I would rather just not, right? So what happened? Some of the paranormal experiences that I've experienced and that I realized it was an entity, because at first I didn't know. I thought it was just a bad energy in general. You know what I mean by, like, some places just have like a cloud over it, and it's not a specific entity, it's just a cloud over it. That's what I thought it was at first. So that's why I didn't do a ward, because I was like, oh, once I cleanse this energy off, it'll be fine. Wrong. Because it wasn't just a cloud, it was an entity. So one night I went to sleep, and I kept waking up in the middle of the night and like shaking. I was like shaking. And so I'm like, why am I shaking? What is wrong with me? And at first I could not figure it out. So I was just like, well, maybe this is like ascension symptoms. Maybe this is like my own internal fears about certain things. Maybe this, maybe that. Right? So that's what I was thinking at first. Time went on. And y'all know that I get visions, right? So I started getting visions of like, how do I explain it? When I would talk to my spirit guides, I was getting visions of like cherry eyes. And then I literally heard, this is not your energy. Because there was one night where I felt so like weird, and I was shaking, and I was feeling like this crazy heavy energy. I was crying, and then I was getting angry, like really, really angry. And I'm not an angry person, but I wasn't realizing that it wasn't me. And so my spirit guide was telling me, this is not your energy. And so when she said that, I was like, okay. But it still didn't click that it was an entity. Like, it still was not clicking that this was like a spirit interfering with me. Like a literal, I know some people don't believe in like lower entities. If there's a higher entity, there is a lower entity. That is just universal law of duality, right? And I was one of those people that thought that too. Oh, like demons don't exist and da 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 da. If you don't want to call it a demon, then you don't have to. I genuinely feel like it's not. I feel like it's basically just lower level entities that they either don't know any better, so they start acting, in ways that harm people, or they do know better, but they just don't want to do better. And we even see that with humans, right? But yes, there are unseen entities that do not want your best interests. Okay? And I feel like I went through that so that my eyes could be open to like, oh, like that is something that you have to look at. You get what I'm trying to say? That is something that you have to be aware of, because while you are used to a certain energy, and not to say I haven't been through my own stuff, I've been through it, but not with no like not in a while. I removed myself from that type of energy. So I just was like, oh, okay, well, that's it. And my guys was like, no, we gave you a break. We gave you a break from that type of energy because we know you've been through like a lot in your life. So we gave you like years of a break from, we shielded you for years. Now it's time to get back out there, and you got to remember that there's entities out here that you can't see that don't want your best interest, and there's people that don't have your best interest. And you have to know how to protect yourself energetically from this. You have to be able to pick up on it when it's showing up, even if you can't see it, because that's just my path, right? I'm a spiritualist. You got to know how to, Anyways, right? How I finally realized that this was an entity, one night, I was like sitting there or watching TV, right? And I saw in my mind's eye a white hand do this, like flicking under the chin. And so I'm like, what is that? So I go look it up, and then something led me to like the Italian chin flick, and apparently it means like F you, or like get lost is something that it also means. And so when I seen the white hand, and then I seen that, and it showed that like it's of Italian descent. Now that's clearly not me, and I don't know nobody Italian. So I was like, oh, heck no, right? So I was like, oh, heck no. So that's when I was like, but I literally was like talking to myself. I was like, nah, like, how is that possible? When I came in here, I cleansed the energy. So how is that possible, right? I'm going to tell you how it's possible. This place had a balcony. And what I would do was I would crack the balcony door open, because I wanted like fresh air to come in. And I wasn't thinking, since this place doesn't have wards on it, if you open a door, then anything can come through that door. And so I was like on a 9th floor. So I wasn't thinking nothing of it. I was like, nobody's going to be able to jump on this balcony. I'm on a 9th floor. You know what I'm trying to say? So I wasn't thinking about safety in that way of like unseen forces, right? That's why when you're warding your home or whatever, and you're like a witch or you're like initiated, basically, they basically say don't put a welcome mat in front of your door, because that's welcoming in spirits. 133 on the timer as I'm saying that. Yes. Or keeping your door cracked open, and you don't have no wards, you don't have no salt, no nothing to ward your house. Any entity can just walk in there, right? Because the reason being is because they can sense a energy that is tapped into other realms. They might leave other people alone because they know that, oh, their energy is not high enough, or it's not pure enough, or it's not, you get what I'm trying to say? But if you're tapped in, you radiate a different frequency, and it's like moss to a flame. That's what it is. It's like moss to a flame. And when your flame is lit, you not only attract other flames, but you attract moss, because they can see, everyone can see you. It's not just the good that can see you, right? So the reason I realized this was because I was led to a video that I knew my guides led me to, and it was so random. It had an angel number on it. And the person was literally saying, should I say who it was? That I got the message from? Should I say who it was? The Knight of Cups? Sure, why not? So I watched Tabitha Brown's video. You know how she does like channel messages every so often and stuff, but she just says like, this is what was put on my heart to say. That thing was for me so bad at that moment. She basically was talking about a crack in her tooth. And she was like, what God basically revealed to me was when there's even a crack, there can be a infection can go into it. And then an abscess can grow. And then you don't even realize that it was just that little crack that was left open that allowed in, you know, negativity or toxicity, right? And so when she said that, I didn't even realize at first, because I was like, okay, I know this is a message for me, right? So I was like, a crack. I was like, a crack? And then I look over to the door that I have cracked open with the balcony. And I'm like, oh, the door is cracked open. And I don't have no wards on this home or this house because I'm like, oh, this is not my house. I'm not about to expend my energy and ward this house up. My guys was like, if you don't ward every single place that you go in, that's what we trying to get you to do. And also, if you don't ward yourself weekly, that's what we trying to get you to do. That's the point. Okay? So, because I was like, how is this entity in here? How? That's how. So apparently the entity was, so basically the first thing I did, but even when I was feeling this energy, anybody connected to me, I immediately distanced myself from because I did not want anybody picking up on this. I was protecting everybody that knows me from that energy, okay? Out of pure love. I was like, nah, y'all can't deal with this. Let me go slay this dragon for real. Hold up, give me a second. Gosh. And it's funny now, but it was not funny. I literally was demon slaying like crazy, okay? 172 on the time. And so I kept getting visions or like omens about the military. And so basically what was revealed to me was that I am like some sort of spiritual warrior. And I'm just like, Lord, Jesus, me? All right. So that was like that. So basically what I did when I saw that night, I saw the entity like tell me to get lost. I immediately got up. Well, first of all, I stopped. And I was like, I'm not afraid of you, first of all. I got up, and because apparently it had been watching me while I was asleep. Because like I said, this was their home that they claimed. They had claimed this home, and I was apparently there for too long. They wanted me gone, okay? But baby, I paid for this. You gonna have to go. What bills you paying? Like, no. So I kept getting omens from my guys to be like, stand your ground. I kept hearing the song in my head. I'm not afraid to take a stand, Like, and I was like, why I keep hearing this? Anyways, that night I got up. I went to the front room for me to turn on another Reiki video to clear out the energy, right? I was going to put on the Reiki video that basically casts out dark entities and energies. And as soon as I opened up the YouTube like thing and I went on guest because I'm a guest, the very first YouTube video said, you need to get out of here. I was like, yeah, nah. I was like, yeah, nah. And then right when I seen that, because this was in the living room, I felt an energy like behind me on the couch. And so, yeah, like, I don't know, like, I feel like most people would find that scary. Honestly, I was like at the point to where I was like, this thing had been bothering me for so long that I was like, honestly, I'm not even about to fight with you. You're just not about to be able to get up in here again. So what I did was to clear this energy out, because I know y'all probably like, okay, so what did you do? Like, how did you get this out? So what I did was I played that video, the Reiki video, clearing out dark energies and spirits. I turned it all the way up. Like, I turned it up, okay? I played it on both TVs, all right? Then the next thing I did, I burned sage. So the sage that I use, you can get this from Walmart. This is where I got it from, okay? That's the sage I used. And I basically went around the entire like condo. I saged the couch because that's where I felt the energy like sitting on when it was telling me to leave or whatever. It was like following me basically. So when I was asleep, it was like next to me while I was in the bedroom. Then when it saw me get up, because I had said, oh, I'm not afraid of you, it must have followed me into the living room and sat on the couch. Like, that's what it's giving. And so I cleared the couch with the sage, and I basically was speaking over it, clearing out all negative energies and spirits, clearing out all entities that were here before, clearing them out, casting them out, banishing them. Like, I'm just chanting it. So like, chanting is going to be your best friend. When you're casting out entities, you want to chant it. Use sage. So that's the first thing I did. Second thing I did was I locked every portal. I energetically locked every portal. So what are portals? Mirrors are portals. TVs are portals. Beds are portals. Couches are portals. Doors and doorways are portals. Okay? All of those things, I energetically locked them. So I went with a rag and like some lemon solution that's like all-purpose cleaner, and I wiped down every single window. Oh, windows are also portals. Okay? I wiped down every window, every mirror, every doorway, every TV. And of course I couldn't wipe down like a mattress or a couch, but the sage was enough for that, right? But all of the things that I could wipe down, when I was wiping them down, I was saying, this is not a portal. This is not a portal. So if it was a doorway, I was like, this doorway is not a portal. If it was a mirror, this mirror is not a portal. I'm energetically locking this mirror. I'm energetically locking this doorway. Only my spirit guides of highest, greatest good can enter. But I really only said that for the TVs, because like my guides will talk to me through like devices. I hopefully this is not like too whatever, bro. You know, if you watch tarot, you gotta think that the world is like not what we think. You get what I'm trying to say? So this shouldn't sound too far-fetched. Hopefully this reaches the witches, the priestess, you know what I'm saying? And not the overly logical, because this is what happened. Like, anyways, right? So that's how I energetically locked every portal. And then what did I do? Oh, I got some sea salt, and I sprinkled sea salt all on the balcony. So that balcony where that entity kept like coming through, I put sea salt all over that balcony, and I basically like spoke over it, and I was like, no entities can enter this space. Basically, no entities can enter this space. As I was sprinkling the sea salt, I put the sea salt on the balcony. I put it on every doorway. I put it on every window. Y'all, I know this sounds excessive. I know it sounds excessive, but this is how you do it. And I want to make this disclaimer. This is not something that you would have to do all the time. This is something that if you're feeling like a heavy energy on you and you realize that it is an entity, this is how you get it off. Or this is how you get it out of your home. Okay? So I did that. I put in the salt on all the doorways. I also had selenite, so I was guided to go and get some selenite, right? That's a crystal. And do I have it with me? Oh, it's over there. It's fine. But I got selenite, and the first day I brought it home, or not home, to this place, the first time I brought it to this place, I immediately dropped it. And so if you don't know anything about selenite, selenite basically takes the blow for you. It's protecting your energy. It absorbs the negative energy that's sent towards you. And so after it does that, it breaks somehow. And so I swear to y'all, I dropped that selenite about 3 times within a 48-hour span, right? This was before I realized it was an entity. I was like, why I keep dropping this selenite? It was because that thing kept trying to attack me. Like, what the heck, bro? So after I realized it, since I had so many, I had 1 ball of selenite, but since it dropped so many times, I have 3 pieces now. Because you can reuse selenite. Once the selenite breaks, all you have to do is take some sage and like purify it again. Basically say, I'm energetically purifying this selenite, getting rid of the negative energy from it and resetting it. You can use it again and it will protect you again. It will take the blow again for you. So what I did was, to protect the space, I put selenite over the doorways. So I used like the selenite and put it on top of the doorway until I was ready to leave, right? And so that worked. And so that's what I did to prep. Also, after that, I took a shower. Now, this was all in the middle of the night. All of this happened within between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. I took a shower to get that energy off of me and also to prep before I did my ward. Okay? And so I took a shower, got out. Since I was traveling, right? I didn't have my usual ward stuff, like jars, or you know what I'm saying? So I had to use a candle, and it worked just as good. The only thing with candles, especially if it's like a small candle, it doesn't last as long. Your better bet to do wards would be like jars, okay? With nails in them. I'm talking about baneful wards, because that's one thing that I learned with this experience is being too nice when it comes to energetically protecting yourself doesn't get you anywhere. All it's doing is allowing for harmful energies to have an easier access to you, and we deserve better, you know? So it's like if you locked your door and an intruder came in. If you took aggressive action at that point, no one is blaming you. So that's basically what a baneful ward is. If somebody or an entity tries to touch your ward or your protection and get through it, something bad happens to them. And so, yeah. To get this entity out or to make sure it didn't come back, I basically lit a small candle that I had in the moment. I knew I wasn't going to be there for much longer, so it was okay. I just did a small candle. But like I said, I suggest jars that you refresh either once a week or once every 2 weeks. And you can just look that up. You can look it up on Pinterest on how to do a baneful ward. You can look up on Google, YouTube, how to do a baneful ward, okay, over your energy. Because nobody should be, you can specify basically who you give access to your energy. You can make that clear. It's basically like giving people keys. Your loved ones, like I said, you give certain loved ones keys to your energy. But everybody else, if you try to get up in here, something bad finna happen to you. Right? Okay? So basically I lit a candle and I wrote a petition, and I put the room number, I put the unit number, I put the building number, and I basically said, by the power of the highest frequency of the universe, and also I connect with Yahweh, you know, the Most High is basically what that is, Yahweh. So since that's a deity that I work with, I also included them. By the power of Yahweh and the highest frequency of source. If you work with another deity, then you can say by the power of whomever and the highest frequency of the universe. This home, if it's a home, you can put the home address. If it's a room, put the room number. Say this space, the specific space, is protected and warded. Protected and warded. Protected and warded from negative, harmful energies and spirits. All negative entities are banished and warded from this space. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And you want to chant it. I chant mine 3 times. You want to talk into the candle when you're doing it. If you still don't feel like you're in a trance, you basically want to chant it until you feel like you're in a trance state. Now, I only have to do it 3 times because I can go into a trance state very quickly, right? But if this is like your first time doing something like that, chant it until you feel like you are now in a meditation. And then when you feel like you felt an energy shift, then say 3 times, and so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And let the candle burn the entire time. Don't blow it out, basically. So that's what I'm saying. I had like a little teacup candle. What else? I feel like I'm supposed to say something else. That's what I did. After I did that, I got like omens from my guide saying that basically I defeated it. Or like, that sounds so dramatic, bro. But that's what, 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry. Like, hey, now. That is when I got confirmation. It's gone for good. You basically defeated it. It can't get through anymore. You basically locked all your doors and you're good. So when it comes to like protection wards and things like that, you can do them over spaces. You can also do them over your energy. Okay, I want to pull. This is already getting long, but the 10 of Wands, the 4 of Wands, the Hanged Man. What's the Hanged Man? The Hermit. Hold on, let me use these. What is this? What is this? Door to Spirit. Oh, okay, yeah. So walking away, door to spirit, 331 on the time as I'm saying that. This was basically, this is saying that this is how you get like spirits to leave your house. Or this is how you get spirits to leave your energy field. Okay? Something about seeing something in a different perspective. I'm not exactly sure what this 10 of Wands, 4 of Wands, the Hangman, and the Hermit is. But all of them are like, all of these are higher perspectives. Like, look at this. Look at this 4 of Wands. It's like ascension upwards, a staircase. Then this Hangman is from the lower perspective looking up. Then this Hermit is all the way at the top of this, whatever this is. I feel like there's something about, and then the 10 of Wands is being at the bottom. Maybe this is about some sort of rising from feeling like you're in a hole or like you're in a dense energy with the 10 of Wands. This guidance and like these rituals will help you to rise back into your energy and get these energies to leave you the heck alone. Okay? So I hope that this story time was helpful to someone. This was very wild. I know I did not go through that for no reason, to just not share it. So I decided to share it. And tomorrow I will be back to giving y'all a reading. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Let me know what you think, or if you've gone through this or have any tips of your own. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.